Hello everybody, how are you? How was the weekend? You're watching this showing that I'm not around. I had a paper, anything to do, two papers to be exact. So excited to do this video for you. So you won't be lagging behind any of the topics. Um, we spoke about different types of carbohydrates, simple sugars and the complex sugars and all. And we spoke about when we broke down the simple sugars into monosaccharide and disaccharide. And we also broke down complex sugars into starch, glycogen, and fiber. Now let's talk about digestion, carbohydrate digestion. Now all the carbohydrate we eat of is why how to digest. You need to pay up attention because it's very important because after this, we're going to move into lipids. So please, I want you to pay attention. Thank you very much. All right, and at the end of this, I'm going to show you a video. Not this one, another video. Okay. All right, so let's talk about carbohydrate digestion. The image shown below shows what? This image follows the numbers to see what happens to carbohydrate at each site of digestion. This is the image I'm talking about. This image, this image, this is the image. Now this is our digestive system. And at every point you see point 1 and point 2, point 3 and point 4. Those are the points where digestion takes place in carbohydrate. Okay? So now the first stage of digestion in carbohydrate happens in the mouth. Now let's just keep going. So you understand what I'm doing? One. So number 1, stage 1, like I said before, mouth or oral cavity. Now we're using pizza as because pizza contains high level carbohydrates, so it's something you can relate with. Let's just pizza. I said you're using mechanical digestion to begin to break it into smaller pieces and mix it with saliva. Now, in that saliva, in your mouth, there's something called saliva gland. These are the glands that releases and secretes saliva into your mouth and it helps release your throat and the likes. And that saliva gland also produces a particular enzyme called salivary amylase. A particular enzyme called salivary amylase. Yeah. Look at it. Now, I know you're wondering, okay, what is an enzyme? Okay, enzymes are chemical catalysts. Now, you're asking, what is a catalyst? A catalyst is anything that helps speed up the rate of reaction or that can help influence a reaction. Okay, so you're trying to let me use a scenario for example. For those that are not science lit. Now, for example, you're trying to I have a friend, I have two friends. We have the Mr. A and Mr. B, and I go to Mr. A telling Mr. A that, hey, Mr. B says that you have a terrible sense of passion, that you don't feel proud. I say a lot of nasty things to him. And I go and meet Mr. B and says, Mr. A says that your hair looks ugly, this and that. Now the next time Mr. A and Mr. B see each other, what do you think is gonna happen? Even if you don't fight physically, you can sense tension between them. Now, because I am the catalyst that brought that reaction between them. Do you understand? So that is an enzyme. An enzyme is the catalyst that causes a reaction, that aids a rate of reaction Okay, now an enzyme that one of the enzymes that that increase and affects the rate of reaction in digestion and social digestion in the mouth is the salivary amylase. The salivary amylase. Now this what's the word? There are enzymes that are secreted in the saliva from the salivary gland, right? Now, I think I showed you the salivary gland. Um, this is the salivary gland. Let me just use the other picture for you. This yellow one, are salivary gland. Okay, so now I think we should move on. All right. Now I said enzyme starts to break long chains of glucose, starch. Because the truth is, what it starch is that as a carbohydrate is entering our mouth, especially plant food, because that is the restaurant carbohydrate we take. Excuse me. As the carbohydrate food is entering our mouth, it enters in form of starch. Now, the enzymes break down this long glucose into shorter chains. Into shorter chains. It does that, it breaks them down into shorter chains. Now, and shorter chains is just shorter chains of polysaccharide and maltose. And let me show you this. See this? Can you see this? This is a starch, amylose. Remember I said the straight chain starch is called what? Amylose. But the broad chain starch is called what? I expected to have said amylopectin by now. So that's the broad chain starch is called amylopectin. Okay? And the straight chain starch is called amylose. So right now it's telling us that the straight chain starch is when it's eaten, the salivary amylase breaks down the food into shorter polysaccharide and maltose. Remember that maltose is what? Glucose plus glucose, right? Good. So now, okay, all right. And number two, the stomach. The stomach, the stomach's low, the low pH in the stomach. Low pH. pH, I need to ask you wondering what the pH is. Now, a pH scale, for those that are not science, I know that I do science. A pH scale is a particular instrument, instrument or scale used to measure the acidity or the alkalinity of a particular substance. Okay? Of a particular substance. Now, let me show you how a pH scale is. I think we just pardon me for a minute. We're gonna, excuse me, pardon me for a minute. Okay, I think it's in the other pictures. Let me just find them. Okay, let me just find this. I'll just give me a minute. Let me find pH scale. I think I have it somewhere here. Yes, yes. I, sorry about that. I knew I downloaded it for you guys to see. See it? Can you see how beautiful it is? Now, it's showing you different things that are found. Now, our pH scale is from scale 0 to 14. Now, from this 0 to 14, 4 to 6 is the level of acidity. Then from 8 to 14 is the level of alkalinity. Now, 7 here is neutral, and that's where you see water falls in 8. Then blood it falls in what? 8. Now, see, the truth is from 0, 1, 2, 3 are called strong acid. Then 4, 5, 6 are called weak acids. Okay? Then from 8, 9, 10, 11, they are called weak base. Okay? They are called what? Or weak alkaline. Then from 12, 13, 14 are called strong alkaline. Okay? Can you see it? The pH. Now, you see that the stomach acid, see the stomach acid, falls under what? Acid. Stomach, for the acid in stomach falls under what? pH scale of 1. So it's telling you that what? It is very, very, very acidic. Now, they say the low pH scale, that means they're telling you that low means what? Acidic. Okay? So I think we have cleared our confusion on that. And let's go back. Stomach. The low pH scale in stomach inactivates salivary amylase. So it's no longer once it arrives to the stomach. So once what happens is that once the salivary amylase are mixed with food that's helped the food to break down, once it enters the stomach, it stops the work of salivary amylase. It stops its work. Then it continues other form of digestion and other form of now one thing that happens is that because of low pH scale, there's some microorganisms that actually come with food that gets destroyed right there in the stomach. All right. Okay. Now, the small intestine. Most carbohydrate digestion occurs in the small intestine. Now, three major sites of carbohydrate digestion is the mouth, the stomach, the small intestine, and the last site is the large intestine. But most of the carbohydrate digestion occurs in the small intestine because of the pancreas and the small intestine that has different types of enzymes that, that is there to help break down the sugar into smaller pieces. Now, the pancreatic amylase is secreted from pancreas into the small intestine. Pancreatic amylase is secreted from where? The pancreas. Now, let's go to the pancreas. How do we find the pancreas? See the pancreas. The pancreas. Now, pancreatic amylase is released and enters the duodenum. Now, duodenum is the beginning, is the point of the beginning and the end of the stomach. It's a joining point between the stomach and the small intestine. Okay, the joining point. Okay, now what happens is that when the food stays there, other things tend to happen. Food stays there, the pancreas releases a particular hormone called pancreatic amylase and breaks it further. Now, looking at this, it breaks it further also. Can you see? Breaks it further into what shorter polysaccharide and maltose. Are we together? Good. Now, now it breaks it down into smaller form of polysaccharide, which is what? The smallest form of polysaccharide is called what? Oligosaccharide. Okay? Alright? Okay, so going forward, and inside the enzyme, okay, yes, see, it breaks down what starch into smaller polysaccharide and maltose. And the rest of the carbohydrate digestion is done by enzymes produced by what? Enterocytes, the cell lining in the small intestine. There's a cell lining in the small intestine called the enterocytes. They also release a particular enzymes to break down our disaccharide. Because what happens is that once the pancreatic amylase breaks it down, breaks the disaccharides down, it breaks them into disaccharides. And how do you break disaccharide down? Because the enzymes released from the enterocytes. Enzymes, if you want to break down maltose now, the enzyme releases maltase. Sorry, the enterocyte releases an enzyme called maltase. It is lactose. It release lactase. it is sucrose, it releases what? Sucrase. Okay, sucrase. Now, that being said, I think I've already explained this point already. I said enzymes break down maltase formed in starch during starch production, lactose from cheese, and sucrose present in the source. Now, I said it, maltose is digested by maltase, forming what? Two glucose molecules. Lactose digested by lactase, forming what? Glucose and galactose. Okay. Also, sucrose is digested by sucrase, forming what? Glucose and fructose. So at the end of the thing, all we find is what? Glucose, fructose, and what? Galactose. Now, what happens is the fact that during this process, they are now absorbed into the small intestine and into the bloodstream to be transported to the liver. And that's where the liver does something very important. This is what the liver does. The natural absorption of carbohydrate in the small intestine. Once it happens like that, fructose and galactose are converted to glucose in the liver. So literally, the only monosaccharide allowed to be running in the bloodstream of a human, of a person, is glucose. So fructose and galactose are converted to glucose by the liver. Okay, once absorbed, carbohydrate passes to the liver. Glucose is the main form of carbohydrate circulating in the bloodstream. Okay, we have the large intestine and the colon. Now we have some carbohydrates that cannot be digested in the small intestine. Example, we have the fiber. Remember I told you that fiber cannot digest. And I said one thing happens. Fiber goes to the large intestine and it ferments. I guess the microbiota in the large intestine ferments the fiber and uses it as own food. You see? Bacteria living in the large intestine sometimes called our gut microbiota ferments this carbohydrate to feed themselves. Okay, the fermentation causes gas production, and this is why we may experience bloating and flatulence. Flatulence is when you fart, okay, after a particular fibrous meal. A lot of people, when I say when you fart, a lot of people like, ew, yeah, man, oh, please, as if you don't. Of course, you don't. Okay, that's one of the signs of, okay, I'm still alive, I'm doing healthy. Okay. Okay, and also fermentation can also produce short-chain fatty acid, which our large intestine can use as an energy source. Then, lastly, over decades ago, there have been more research that has been shown that our gut microbiota is incredibly important and also important to our immune system, our nutrition, and helps us reduce the risk of disease. Then also, it is said that a diet high in whole food sources of fiber helps to maintain population of healthy gut microbes. So the more you eat fibrous food, the more you might.
What's
Now I'm going to be playing you a video, and I want you to pay attention. Everything I just explained is going to be given to you, explained by listener. Okay, enjoy.
up, dudes, and what is up, beautiful ladies out there? Brian's sitting here enjoying an ice cream cookie sandwich, which is packed full of fat molecules, some protein molecules, and a ton of carbohydrate molecules. So how does our body digest and absorb the carbohydrate molecules from food? A quick review. There are three main types of carbohydrates. Monosaccharides, which are single molecules, disaccharides, which are two monosaccharide molecules bonded together, and polysaccharides, which are many monosaccharide molecules bonded together. And some shorter strands of polysaccharides are often called oligosaccharides. Our bodies produce and release enzymes that basically break down larger carbohydrate molecules into smaller units. There are two places that carbohydrate digestion or breakdown takes place: in the mouth and in the small intestine. In the mouth, salivary glands release salivary amylase, which is an enzyme that starts breaking down starch molecules. Starch is a polysaccharide molecule that contains a large number of glucose units bonded together, and it is found in many foods, including rice and potatoes. Once the food or bolus is swallowed and enters the stomach, the low pH of the stomach inactivates the salivary amylase. There's virtually no digestion of disaccharides until they reach the small intestine, and we'll cover them in a minute. As the bolus moves from the stomach into the duodenum and jejunum, which are the first parts of the small intestine, the pancreas releases pancreatic juice into the small intestine. This juice contains pancreatic amylase, which is an enzyme that continues the breakdown or digestion of starch into shorter strands of glucose. The brush border or microvilli, which are tiny hair-like projections located on the enterocyte cells of the small intestine, also contain enzymes that finish the breakdown of starch into single glucose molecules that are ready for absorption. Now for the 2-unit disaccharides, which my ice cream cookie had a ton of. So the 3 main disaccharides are sucrose, or sugar, which is comprised of a glucose molecule and a fructose molecule, lactose, which is galactose and glucose, and maltose, which is 2 glucose units. The enzymes that act on these are sucrase, lactase, and maltase, which are also located on the brush border of the enterocyte cells. So basically the body has broken down these carbohydrate molecules into glucose, fructose, and galactose units. Glucose and galactose are mainly absorbed into the enterocyte cells through an SGLT1 protein transporter on the membrane of the cell, and fructose is absorbed into the cells through a GLUT5 transporter. On the other side of the enterocyte cells, glucose, galactose, and fructose are transported out of the cell through a GLUT2 transporter into the blood, where they travel to the liver. In the liver, fructose and galactose are mainly converted into glucose. The actual glucose molecules from food can be taken up by the liver and stored as liver glycogen, or they can become part of blood glucose and be used by cells throughout the body as energy. They can also be taken up by muscle cells and stored as muscle glycogen, or they can be converted into fat and stored in adipose or fat tissue. And folks, that be the basics on how carbohydrates are digested and absorbed. You can hit the thumbs up or thumbs down.
All right. So, now that you've watched the video, if you have any question, please do not hesitate to let me know. Write down your question and let me know when next we meet. Okay? Thank you very much. Have a lovely day. I really appreciate you taking time out to listen to and watch this video. Thank you. Thank you very much.